It is episode 179. Welcome in to the Benches Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez and represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, being old school with the weird headphones.
And I'm Dave, representing the side of the only team in MLB to have 2 wins. Everybody else, catch up. 2 wins, guys. 2 in a row.
I would somehow maybe give you props, but you called it the MLB, so that kind of demotes you down a little bit.
But
kind of demotes you down a little bit in my book. I mean, are you an RBI guy or an RBI's guy?
RBI.
Really? I feel the opposite.
Yeah, I'm glad we do, because I always found it weird. I don't know, 35 RBI. Like I don't know. This seems more natural.
Yeah, I gotta say eyes. I don't. I'm like when someone's like, "Oh, it's 5 RBI," and I get that it's the right way, but it doesn't sound right. So I'm not gonna say that. I won't do it.
I mean, it's stuff that you think about throughout the game, because sometimes the game's kind of slow, so you're just like RBIs. But when you think about it, it runs batted in.
Yeah, it's proper, but it also sounds dumb. If you're saying RBI, you sound dumb to me. So I don't know. I just want to say RBIs. Multiple
we're
ribeyes.
Squabbling about the wrong stuff here, man.
No, we're gonna squabble about this stuff because there's not a lot. I feel like the Giants are just being on the wrong side of everything. So
I love it.
Let me just win this battle of RBIs to RBI, and that can be great.
Maybe we can. That's fine. I mean, you want to call it RBIs? We call it RBIs. I'm sure I'll call it. I'm sure I've called it RBIs and just haven't noticed, or just haven't. It's just not a big deal. Whatever.
Who knows? Who knows? Thank you guys, everyone, for joining in. Make sure to submit some questions if you want us to talk about anything. But we got a variety of topics today. We're getting really close to opening day. I guess this isn't the last show. This might be the last show before opening day. I mean, I guess if we do 2 next week, hopefully, maybe if we get some guests and we can break down some rosters, maybe we can do 2 next week. But we'll be getting into that as it comes. But yeah, let's talk about your 2 wins, because you already started it, so we might as well talk about your. Are the Dodgers going to go 162-0? Is the magic number at 161? Are we already counting down?
That's the plan right now.
That's the plan.
It's a plan. So we're at 162.
Okay.
I mean, we're at 2-0. We're trying to get to 162. So yeah, I mean,
just
off to a pretty good start. Yeah, just 160 more, and we're good.
Now, were you one of the ones that watched the full games, or were you like, I will catch the box score in the morning?
I thought I was like, I probably won't make it. Like, I'm not going to be able to sit through. But they were, I guess because of the debut of Roki and, just missing baseball, I stayed up. I was able to watch it all. My kid, on the other hand, the youngest one who stayed up for the first game, I think he woke up around the 3rd inning. Okay. And, brought out his blanket and stuff. And he watched the majority of it before he fell asleep. But he tried to do that the second game, and it was not good. Like, he came out, he thought he was good. His problem was that he laid down right away on the couch instead of just sitting up and trying to watch. And the eyelids were just too heavy. But he did wake up near the end of the game, and I told him that he did watch the whole thing. And I'm like, you saw it. Remember when they scored? And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, you were, you remember. So
we're goats. I was there. You just need to DoorDash some sweets, man. You need to put in some red vines.
At 3
and
in the morning.
Yeah, there's people out there trying to DoorDash for you. Trust me, I've had a couple nights like that.
It seems pretty dangerous going out that late, no?
That's what I'm saying. You have them come to you. No,
I'm saying like the people doing it. Like, that's pretty dangerous being out that late.
I think, man. Listen, that's what they want to do. That's what they do for work. You're just supporting that by ordering from them. Right. You know how parties get, Mexican parties, they just never end. And then usually someone's up at 3 a.m. and they want something like, a freeze from Taco Bell, or, something like that, and you just can't help yourself.
I guess so. But did you? I mean, you didn't catch any of the games. You saw the
I didn't
highlights.
watch the one game.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. I mean, you're a Giants fan. Why the heck would you get up to watch them? But
I
maybe
hate,
just to hate watch.
yes,
maybe.
I hate pretty hard. I go pretty hard in the paint for a nice hate watch. I don't go that hard. I'm not going to wake up 3 a.m. to hate watch. I just can't do it. I love to watch even baseball games that have nothing to do with Dodgers or Giants. But if there's a Dodger game on and I have a chance to hate, I'm going to do it. But
I love the fact that you and the rest of the Dodger haters that were, hoping to wake up, have a good morning, would check the box score twice, and you're like, damn it, they won. And then the next morning, damn it, they won again.
I kind of felt like they were going to win both of them. After the way the first game went, and I don't know, it just felt like they were going to win both. Maybe it's just, hangover from the season or the off season of they get everything they want, that, they're just going to win both. It's pretty much a home. They had 2 home games that were away, but now they're going to have both home games back, in their home stadium. So
it just looked like there were 2 different classes. Like one team, the expectations, they're coming in all business. They're going to play well. The other team is trying to get there, I guess. And we didn't even have Freddie or Mookie. So pretty good wins, man. And
that's wild.
And for Yamamoto, I expect great things this year for him, man. He looked really sharp. He looked really good. Sasaki, I think it's gonna be a mixed bag because he's not a finished product, and even so, he's just filthy. Like, he has 2 good pitches in his fastball and his splitter, and he was able to hold him at bay. Like, he hurt himself with so many walks, but it's to be expected. These growing pains are to be expected, but he flashed a lot of good, filthy freaking pitches, man. I loved it.
Yeah, who knows? That is pretty insane. I'm not sure if you saw this, but here it's averaged more than 25 million viewers in my. That is that like a normal thing in Japan, or is how is I know the viewership in the World Baseball Classic was out of control, and even more than the World Series, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Is this that exciting just because it's in another country, or?
Well, it's Shohei. It's Shohei. It's Yamamoto.
You see Shohei today. That's why I'm a little shocked that this was more viewership.
It's his first time going back. We don't know when he'll go back again. He delivered, man. Double. What was it? 2 for 5 in the first game, and then he got a home run in the second game. And
a Rob Manfred home run that just gave it to him because
it hit the roof. It was gonna be blasted to the moon. The roof held it in. So whatever, it doesn't matter.
I know. I
like how everybody was arguing whether it was a home run or not, but it didn't affect the outcome of the whole game. It wouldn't have. If you take that homer away, the Dodgers still win. But whatever, it doesn't matter. There was just there's been a lot of complaining since the Dodgers are back. There's been a plenty of complaining already, and it's been 2 games, man.
You're the team that everyone hates right now. Of course, you just got to gear up for it. It's gonna be a long season. This is what it's gonna be. But like I said earlier, Norm, I'm not getting out of my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to hate watch. I love a good hate watch. But that's
then your
I don't
hate game
that
is
hard
weak. You got a weak hate game, man. You got to get up and hate.
If you want to get player haters,
dedication to the hate, man.
Nasty. Yeah, that would be nice. One thing that I thought was really funny from that Tokyo series was the Max Muncy foul ball mix-up, and how mad he was at I forgot who was it? Do you remember the name of the guy? The old core,
Rodney Pete.
Right. Okay. So his glove was under Max Muncy's, so he already missed the ball.
I don't think Muncy got mad at the guy. Muncy always looks like a hothead out there. Anyways, if you look at the replay, his glove got stuck in the netting. He kind of screwed himself, right? He got stuck in the netting and barely got to it, and that's why he wasn't there in time. I think it was more mad at that than like the guy being there. Like if the guy wasn't there, he wouldn't have made the catch either way. Like he messed up in the first place because he got caught in the netting. I thought that's how I took it, because the guy wasn't even trying. Like he wasn't trying to get it. He just was there in case he didn't get it, and that's what ended up happening.
I feel like he was upset at him. I think you might be a little just trying to shed light on the situation. That's what I think.
I don't know. I mean, Muncy does look like a hothead out over there at times, but I don't know, because he also had there was also lasers pointed at while he was batting too. Did you catch that?
What's up with him and lasers? Why
I don't know what's up with him and lasers. It happened in New York. It happened in Tokyo now, so I don't know. Maybe start wearing glasses or something. But
why is everyone trying to blind next
Muncy?
Is it Madison Bumgarner just in the stands, just trying to get back at him, trying to blind him?
For that ocean comment, he just never let it go.
Just never let it go. Oh man. So I think there has been some hate, right, from people talking about how the opening day shouldn't be in Japan. It should only be, it's America's pastime. It should only be in America, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I will concede to the argument of, hey, 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. for the first games of the season. I mean, if there's a way around it, that should maybe happen. But at the same time, you know.
I mean, you look at it from the other side. You get 160 games if you're just giving away 2 games. You're giving them to a country that you're getting a bunch of viewership from. You're trying to, grab that market, and you got the biggest team over there, the biggest star. So you're trying to accommodate them more than you're trying to accommodate the fans that you already have. I don't see a problem with it. And the fact that, like, it's America's pastime and stuff, okay. But, I mean, Japan also won the WBC. Yeah. Like, against USA, against, whatever. So let them have their moment. Let them have this. This was a great opportunity to keep growing the game. And I have no problem with it whatsoever.
I don't have a problem with it. I would be bummed if the first Giants games were at 3 a.m. The first ones, because you're so excited for them. That's the only critique I think I would have. But at the same time, with that time zone, what else are you going to do? I mean, is 4 o'clock better? Is 5 o'clock better? Like, is, pushing it back more, or like, I don't know, doing it at 5 o'clock their time to make it at 1 o'clock? Is that better? Making people stay up till 3. I don't know. I think. And it's hard to do a Japan series in the middle of the season, so I get why they did what they did. I also kind of understand, like, that would suck to be at 3 a.m. But
it's 2 games. Like,
right. It is, but it's the first 2. It's the first 2. So it is a little like,
listen, when everybody was like dying for baseball content because there was a work stoppage, people stayed up at 3 a.m. to watch the MPO, right? Everybody stayed up to watch it. So
they also weren't working.
If you want to watch baseball, if you're a diehard, you're going to stay up. And if you don't, then it's fine. You still have 160 other games that you're going to be able to watch. Besides, you'll still get your home opening, your opening day game. You'll still get that back here in the States. So
one thing I did see, which was when the national dudes start talking about baseball, like it's just like, shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about. Colin Cowherd, what's it called? Put out a tweet that was saying, it was just like explaining that, the Dodgers are the biggest team in Japan. I wonder why. The biggest team in Japan. They sold out of merchandise, this and that. And he retweeted it and put, they're just smarter, period. How are they smart? Everyone wanted to sign Shohei. 80% of teams wanted to sign Yamamoto. Every team wanted to sign Roki. So I don't know if you could say that the Dodgers are smarter for being able to sign those guys. I mean, they built a lot of things to, attract these guys. They obviously earned it. Those guys wanted to sign with them. But let's not give them that they're smarter.
That's the smarter part that they've built to this moment. I mean, let's just say they hadn't done any of that.
You think that's just say they were a smart thing?
It is, because if they were a mediocre team that didn't know how to run their team, you think Shohei's here today? You think Roki's here? You think Yamamoto's here? If we have a really mediocre team that's not run well, you think we land those guys?
Do you think that teams want to be that way. Some teams actually do want to be that way.
Some teams do because they don't spend.
Yep.
Some teams will say we're going to upgrade the stadium and not put it into our payroll.
Let's be honest. There's a lot of farm systems that are highly ranked that the guys just don't pan out. So you can't be like, oh, they're smarter for signing these 3 guys. Everyone wanted to sign them. It wasn't a secret. I think the Dodgers built something that was very attractive and it got people in. And, I'm not taking anything away from the Dodgers, but let's not be like they made the smart move. Everyone wanted to make that move.
That's the smarter part. They're not saying they're smart because they signed those 3 guys. They're smart because they built something to be able to attract those 3 guys and on. Like, this isn't the end. This isn't like they've built something so good that players around the league have noticed. And they're like, yeah, I'll go play there. And players overseas are like, I want to go there too. Kim, who's in the minors, who any other team would have wanted him to. We had so many players in the minors, but he said, hey, the Dodgers are the best. I want to be a Dodger. So they've built, they have been smarter because they've built towards this.
No, they're not. Listen, you can make an argument.
You're acting like you just lucked into it.
No. They didn't luck into it. They built it to be attractive to go there. But everyone, the reason that the Dodgers are so popular in Japan, number 1 is Shohei Ohtani. Number 2 would, I guess, a toss up. I don't know. I don't have the feeling of the pulse in Japan of who's a bigger target, Yamamoto or Sasaki. But I'm telling you, if the Dodgers had Yamamoto and Sasaki, but Shohei stayed with the Angels would be more popular than the Dodgers.
Perhaps. But who wasn't smart and didn't match the offer? The Angels. So if they were so smart and they were raking in so much money with him, and they would have been so much bigger, why didn't they pay him?
You're going to tell me.
I'm just asking, was that smart on their part to not pay him?
Was it smart on them to not? What do you mean?
Was it smart for Artie to not pay Shohei Ohtani?
Stand there and tell me with both feet in the ground and your chest puffed out that if the Angels matched the Dodgers, that he would have went to the Angels.
All right, I'm going to take his word. He gave them a chance to match. So I'm just asking, was it smart for them not to match?
If it's true they didn't match, that's probably not only not smart, but probably the dumbest thing in the world.
So thank you. So the Dodgers,
it didn't matter,
smart.
Though.
They wouldn't do that.
It doesn't matter. He was going to be a Dodger. It doesn't matter.
Well, just like every other conspiracy that Roki was just going to be a Dodger as well.
He was going to be a Dodger. He was just going to be a Dodger. You're going to sit there and tell me he wasn't going to be a Dodger? Return of the Mac.
The cheesecake.
What's it called?
I'm just saying, you just have to be smart to be able to do something. You have to be able to smart to continue to have a winning product on the team year in and year out.
Okay,
because
but let's not pretend some of this
to be consistent like that. You have to have somebody smart to run that team.
It's really smart to sign Shohei Ohtani, even though everyone else wanted him, and be able to afford all these other players.
You're talking about the very last piece of the pie. I'm talking about every year that you're in contention. To be like, oh well, to the point that it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. The Dodgers, we don't even have to talk about them. They're going to be in the playoffs. Like we don't even have to talk about that anymore.
That happened before Shohei. That was before Shohei.
That's my point, and that's attractive to players.
Yes, I know, but that doesn't mean
that you build. You have to be smart to build something like that.
Oh my god!
Because some teams will spend money.
But that's not what he's saying.
He's saying and never get to that.
He's saying they're smart because they signed 3 guys. Everyone wanted to sign those guys. Maybe not Yamamoto because he came with such a high price tag. So I think a lot of maybe like 50% of teams wanted to sign Yamamoto, but 100% of teams wanted to sign Shohei, and 100% of teams wanted to sign Sasaki. So,
well, it didn't happen. It makes it smarter then. It just simply makes it smarter.
It's smarter to just sign guys that everyone wants just to be on top of the pile.
They're super smart because Yamamoto looked amazing in game 1, and Sasaki looks like he has tremendous promise. And Shohei's just being Shohei, so look at him. Super smart.
I'm not sure I could accept this right here. I just feel like Ichiro, yes, he's loved in Japan, but I think Shohei is a different monster. I think the attention that Shohei gets is a lot more than Ichiro. I that's just my guess. I don't know any facts that back that up, but I don't know any other player that brings in that much for a team than Shohei. That's it's groundbreaking. There's no I don't know. I don't think it's on the same level.
But at the same, like, we're talking Seattle, and there was people saying that Sasaki might go there because of those connections.
Right.
But then you have guys like Justin Turner saying, like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, they're not spending on anything. So, like, you see that it wouldn't attract a player of Sasaki if there was the chance that it was 50-50 between them and the Dodgers, right? Like, because you're not going to admit we're talking in a world where we're thinking that it was predetermined that he was going to go to the Dodgers. But all things being equal, and there was a chance for him to go to the Mariners because of that connection and all that, they just aren't a team that looks like they're trying. Their biggest signing was signing Polanco, and like guys see that, and you're like, well, why would I go there if they don't even commit to the team they have now, where they have great pitching? What is it going to be like when they suck even worse? They're not going to do anything. So,
yeah,
I mean,
no, I understand that. Trust me, I do, but I don't know. I just can't back that. Hey, they're smarter because they signed these three guys that everyone wanted. They got picked.
I don't think they're well. If that's his argument, I don't agree with that because that doesn't make you smarter. Obviously, I'm saying they're smart that they built something to get to the point where they could attract those guys.
Yeah, they have done a lot of. They are not afraid to move their prospect capital to go in on a season. They're not afraid to sign long deals. And if you're not willing to do neither, then you're probably not going to be. It doesn't matter what kind of core you have. You're not going to be that good for that long. So, yeah, and we're just trying to survive here. There's some more Dodger topics, but maybe we'll get to that at the end. Let's talk some Giants here. And our man Cheesecake brought up a good point. I'm not sure if you saw this. The Giants sold 10% of their ownership stake to a company. I forgot the company's name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I remembered it earlier, but I just don't have it off the top of my head. To fund their real estate ventures in Scottsdale and in Mission Rock, which is, supposed to, they want to give the whole fan experience. They want to beauty up that side of San Francisco. But don't worry, we're not going to use this money to spend it on the next Aaron Judge. Was an actual quote from from a Giants owner.
Yeah, I read that.
That's the most wild thing I've ever heard in my life. Like the tone deafness of this Giants ownership group is insane. Like at this point, you don't know. I don't mind them. Hey, we're gonna sell to make money here, or we're gonna, sell to. They want to build soccer stadium seating, which honestly, I have no idea what that means. I don't watch soccer. I don't know if it just means they're just standing in Triples Alley. We kind of
think that's what it is. It's a section where they get to stand
what's it called? I'm not exactly sure what it means. So I don't mind them doing those upgrades, and I don't mind them making those decisions, but it should eventually come back to you spending money on the team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why they would say that publicly, Norm. It makes no sense. This is the same guy who tells Giants fans, hey, our job, we're just trying to break even here, which is wild that you're first going to act like you're not making money. Second of all, not trying to win. It's just, and like being so stuck on, hey, we have a $9 beer, so that means we care about the fans, right? It's insane. First of all, I don't drink beer, but the beers are like this big, and I know that if I did drink beer, this for $9 isn't exactly a deal. So
And when you're winning, you'll put up
I don't
with
know
like,
what's going on with Dave, but he is
oh,
just not working right now. I'm sure. No, can't hear anything you're saying, Dave. So it's just going to be me until Dave decides to get his microphone working, which is fine. I think everyone likes me more than Dave, anyways. I think that my mom thinks that I'm more handsome, and that's fine.
anybody can hear me
I
now.
don't know. That's Giants ownership for you. I can't say that I'm shocked. I am shocked that they said that we're not going to spend. This is not for money on to spend money on players publicly the way they did. But who knows? Who knows what's going on? Hopefully, it'll eventually turn around and come back in. But as of right now, Giants aren't spending. I guess big time. You could say.
Am I still muted?
So
No.
who knows? It turns out they're saying some people can't hear you. Okay, there goes Dave, and I'm in the middle. Ooh. Sorry for people who are audio only. I'm really sorry that I'm just doing things back and forth, but I'm also kind of picture like there we go. Let's get Dave back in. Is it on? There you are. I can hear you now.
I don't know what I did.
I don't know. Just ruining everything, to be honest with you. Apparently, everyone else can hear you. Maybe it was just me.
Oh, they're awesome. Hey, so that's not very smart of them, right? To just be saying stupid. I don't know why you even say that, but like that's another example of an owner not being very smart.
Right, but
we had like
they offered Shohei the same amount of money, so they were smart enough to do that. Shohei can bring a lot of money in. So,
but to say that out loud, like, did he hear himself say it? Like,
there's so many bad Larry Bear quotes, like almost like I know we didn't get Aaron when they missed out on Aaron Judge and Carlos Correa. It was, hey, I know we didn't spend this money to get these players, but I think the fans just needed us to explain to them, hey, we spent money on Michael Conforto. Hey, we spent money on Tyler Rogers, and then now you're going to understand it. He literally said that in an interview. Like, you just have to explain to fans, hey, we bought these guys, so you should be happy. It's just it's the most wild thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was saying, like, when the prices go up on the hot dogs, beers, whatever it is, as long as you're winning, fans don't care. Like, they say they care, but if you're winning, they'll put up with it. So, like, if you have cheap beer and cheap hot dogs, you're probably not doing a lot of winning. It's probably because they want you to show up because you're not doing a lot of winning. So,
yeah,
yay for the $9 beers or whatever it is, but I think you guys would rather win than have that.
And the Farhan, this was the heart of the Farhan era, and his whole thing was the waiver wire. It was, the roster churn. Who can we get a good week out of that we could just pick up for the week? And so the biggest name with the Giants was like Farhan. Like, he was like the number one dude. It was like the identity was like trust in Farhan, analytics. And I'm sorry, that just doesn't bring a lot of attention. I'm not saying analytics is bad or, analytics is boring, but when you're over analytical and you're the Tampa Bay Rays, there's a reason the Tampa Bay Rays are usually decent every year, and they have like 12 and a half people show up to their games. So,
well, I think it has to do with their stadium too, but sure.
What do you mean?
Weren't they gonna, like, they wanted a newer stadium or something, or
Giants?
No, the Rays. I'm not talking about the
Giants. Oh, my bad. All right, yeah. Sorry. I just heard one thing. I heard you disrespecting the stadium. I was like, that's the one thing we got. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna need you to step off that really quick. Oh, where do we want to go from here? There's a couple of things on here. I don't know. I don't know if we're done talking about this, but oh my gosh, the tone deafness and getting ready to come into a season. This is what you hear. I really hope that if the Giants are half as good as their spring training record, that they do invest in the team and pick up at the trade deadline. But no say. I think that's the kind of battles we're in. Is are they actually going to do something at the trade deadline if they're up? But who knows?
Now I can't hear you.
Now you what?
We're having all sorts of trouble because now I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all. Oh my goodness. Let me.
There you go. I don't know why it's going in and out, but I couldn't hear you. So.
All right. Well, we gotta.
I don't know what you said, but yeah.
We got a question for you, so we'll just go from there.
What up? What's up with Freddie? Not a Muncy injury, is it? No, no. So it was the first game. He felt like something. I think it was his ribs, and they just wanted to be really careful with him. He actually begged them to let him play the second game, but they're like, "Let's just hold off, dude. It's not the World Series. Get healed up. We need you." And so they're hoping that he'll be back by the Freeway Series, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, right? Like you go from playing games that mean something to coming back and you got to play the Angels and it doesn't mean squat. Like it's kind of funny.
I think it's wild that that they're just like their top two players. Oh, I guess not their top two players. Their second and third player. They're like, just sit out. Fuck it. Like you're fine. The big ticket items that you just signed, Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow's coming back from injury. Just don't pitch. We're good. We're just gonna just get ready for the actual season. Wild.
I mean, I don't think there's any world where you didn't pitch Yamamoto. First of all, Yamamoto has earned it. I think he earned it, definitely. You can make the case for Roki, definitely. You'd be like, Blake Snell should have probably started, or even Glasnow. But I think the moment where you're at, it made too much sense to not have
100%. But it's just funny to me.
It is funny because you're like, these established all-stars, you guys are gonna sit and we're gonna start the rookie. But I mean, it just makes too much sense. But yeah, it was
I would think that maybe because we're so far away from the regular season that maybe Blake Snell would pitch like the last 3 innings, maybe Tyler Glasnow pitch the last 3 innings. You know what I mean? Like something like that. But I don't know, man.
No, man, the bullpen is kind of filthy, man. I mean, it's 2 games. You're not going to get much, you can't get much out of it. But Ben Kasparius looked really good. Jack Dreyer, who's another rookie, looked solid too. Those could be pieces. And then that's before you even get to Kirby Yates, Blake Trinan, Alex Vesia, who closed the game, and then Tanner Scott. Like crazy. It's just crazy. The abundance of riches that they have is just crazy. You just gotta hope they stay healthy.
Yeah, it's super smart. Just sign a bunch of like really good guys. Smart of them.
Whatever. Everybody could have signed Tanner Scott. He said no one was calling. It was the Dodgers that called first or whatever.
Okay,
and
hold on.
Same thing.
Not everyone can spend $17 million on a reliever a year. I get it.
They could. They could
no,
if they
they
wanted
could not.
To.
I'm sorry, they could not. Like, I'm not hating. I get it. If you got it, dude, spend it's crazy to see them still reinvest in the team when it is that good and that stacked. So I'm not hating on that aspect of it. But let's just be real. Not everyone could do that.
Yeah, and there's always been a stigma about relievers that you don't want to pay them because it never ends up well. But and even Friedman has for the most part not paid relievers.
Right.
Like big bucks. This is one of the first one with Scott that we feel like he's given so
I know what happened.
How can you not? It's a lefty, throws 100. Like, come on. Like,
well, what happened was Daddy Shohei showed up in Freeman's office, put his feet on his desk, and like, listen, how much money you make off me? Yeah, exactly. You don't even answer that question. So what I'm gonna need you to do, sign Tanner Scott so I don't have to face him. All right, cool. That's it.
Maybe
get my ass back. Go get my ass back.
The fact that you have that, to do because of Shohei. Sure, let him go in there and put his feet up and tell him to do it. But crazy how many good arms they have in that bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Really, really smart. Shiny Shohei. I don't think anyone would have really thought about
anybody else could have signed those guys. They chose not to. Okay?
No, stop. I can't stand you. I'm gonna walk out and you're gonna have to.
Hey, you don't sign 42-year-old Verlander and you allocate money to getting Tanner Scott and you're gold. So you could have done it. You just didn't want to.
Don't hate on Justin Verlander. This dude's hitting 96, 97 on the gun.
Dude, every episode that we come on here, I have to say I got to rag on him once at least.
Well, thanks for taking it easy on Grandpa when he goes 6 innings shutty. I mean, that's fine. You could say anything you want, but dude is the man. I mean, until he's not the man, he's still the man. You could talk about him being 42. Dude won a Cy Young at 39.
We're gonna be looking at retirement homes near the end of the season. You and me. We're gonna be looking him up where to put him by the end of the season.
That's fine with me. If he's got 20 starts in there where and hopefully a good postseason start or two, that's worth that money.
Now you're dreaming. First of all, you're dreaming that he's gonna have an amazing season, and then dreaming that he's gonna be pitching in the postseason. So, good luck, man. Good luck.
You want to bet?
That you're not going to make the postseason?
Bet all that pretty hair on top of your head, dude.
You want a wig?
Come on, I need some help, son. Bet all that pretty hair on top of your head. All that's mine. All that's mine if the Giants make the postseason.
You know what would be funny? I'd have to get cut my hair down if I lose the bet, and you have to wear a wig or something to look like you.
I'm gonna make a wig out of your hair. I'm just gonna put it on. I'm gonna have flowing locks in this bitch. Yeah. It is what it is. Does this trigger you, Chris Taylor? Does Chris Taylor get you upset? Is he gonna be?
This guy must read my tweets or follow me because I will include Chris Taylor on every trade, any trade scenario that you tell me. He will be included.
You're just gonna have to do the Jackie Moon and trade him for a washing machine.
And it's probably disrespectful because he did give us a couple of good years and he's been a serviceable utility man, but give the spot to somebody else, man.
I'm not sure I would. I mean, 3 teams who spend. I mean, who are those 3 teams? The Mets, the Dodgers, and the Yankees.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say other teams don't spend. Just no one spends at the level that the Mets and the Dodgers get on.
Nobody else spends smartly.
Oh, stop! Oh my! Now everything's smartly. We play baseball smartly.
We do. We play smart. We spend smart. We talk smart.
Oh, I don't know. We just pulled up Chris Taylor, and we can go back all the way to Brandon League if you want to talk about spending smart money.
Hey, Chris Taylor won the wild card game for us. So what was that, 6 years ago? So
yeah, but that was before the signing.
I know. That got him the signing.
Yeah.
It gave us joy for that Brown, but then, damn it, if we knew what it was going to come with, I'd still take it.
Yeah, Norm has a good point, too. The Cubs and the Phillies, Cubs, maybe. I think they're kind of on the fringe.
No, the Cubs were crying about how they didn't have any money.
But they did spend. They did end up going after some guys, too, so you can't really. Maybe you could see the Cubs, but the Phillies spend.
Yeah, the Phillies do spend.
And maybe this is just, here's the thing. The Giants have gone over luxury tax multiple times. They went over luxury tax last year. And I think that they're trying to reset it and get under the luxury tax this year because they're trying to see what they got with these young guys. I mean, I've made the Luis Matos needs to be starting, who had a good spring, talk this whole offseason. And he's backed it up in spring. So he needs, so maybe they're just doing the whole hey, let's see what we get. And then
before we move on from that comment, we need to bring Ernie on here. He's the host of the Tailgate.
Okay.
Dodgers Tailgate. So he does that podcast and should have him on here, man. Talk Dodgers. Maybe we both can get triggered about Taylor.
I could be in the middle. I could freaking from both freaking squares, son.
I don't know if you can take on both of us, man, but yeah, you could try.
I got it. I can make it happen. Make my dog come in here. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I'm kind of up and down with the Giants because they're there's times they do spend, but I feel like this is gonna stroke your ego. So I'm not excited to say this, but it feels like they spend really dumb. will spend a bunch of money for Taylor Rogers. They'll spend a bunch of money for Michael Conforto and lock themselves in. They'll do these, these opt-out contracts with like Blake Snell and, Matt Chapman ended up re-signing, but Sean Manaea, and there's so many the Carlos Rodon with the 1-year opt-outs where it's like, you can't trade them because the team doesn't like the opt-out if they're having a good season. And then, it's, I don't know. I think they spent their money really dumb. That was a Farhan thing. Maybe Posey's different. So hopefully next year we're back to getting to the get. So
we should answer that last question that we got there.
What's the sale pitch?
What's the sale pitch to get Giants fans in the stadium? Honestly, ask. If you're not, doing some Mickey
Mouse
theme
honestly
night.
Asking. I feel like he knows it's a bad
having a Mickey
pitch.
Mouse,
It's a beautiful
if you don't
stadium.
have the Dodgers in town and you don't have Mickey Mouse theme night, what is the pitch to get fans in the stadium?
Okay, let's stop. Okay, well, here's the thing. The Giants are a more watchable, exciting team now. They're not the looking for a walk, looking for a home run, boring type of play. But I don't know. I mean, I think that this is going to be a lot better product to watch. I think they are going to contend for a wild card. I think that's entertaining. And to get to the ballpark, I mean, this is one of the most beautiful stadiums in baseball. Some of the best food in baseball. So if we're talking about actual stadium, yes, the team's going to be more excited. It takes some years to build something exciting, and Farhan just went the wrong way. And I think Posey can get there, but it's just it's going to take a little bit of time. I don't think
it's going to take a lot of time when you have when you don't have a winning product and your owner is saying, "Hey, we're not going to spend on players."
But you know what? But he also does a little bit, though. I mean, the Giants didn't do nothing. They signed.
I know
Willie
they spent on Adames, right? They got
Adames,
and
they re-signed. They re-signed Matt Chapman in the offseason. It was like literally the last 2 days of the season. They re-signed Matt Chapman. And I know you want to talk shit about Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander was the perfect signing for what they're trying to do. They have a lot of young starters that they're trying to give the ball to, but they also can't, count on them for 150 to 200 innings yet. So you have someone like Justin Verlander who's going to need time off. So they're going to be able to get their starts, but they can kind of lower their innings in AAA.
We've talked about
starts. Exactly.
We've talked about this in a year where you had Blake Snell, Corbin Burns, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero, maybe he was available, maybe Pete Alonso, all these other guys. You ended up with Verlander and Adames. Like
the biggest. You
can be excited because you signed someone.
You're going to tell me Willie Adames, a 29-year-old, is a bad signing? That's what we're going here. This is how much you're going to hate right now.
I'm not saying it's a bad signing. I am saying when there's Juan Soto and other guys that completely change the face of your franchise completely and make you're settling. And I feel like it's a little bit of settling, being like, oh, well, at least we got someone. He's good. He's good, but he's not like, it doesn't change you or to the point that like, now you're going to go into the playoffs. Like, I don't see it that way. Like, you could have gotten if you got Juan Soto, I'm like, yeah, dude, you got it. Now you got eyes on you. Now things are going to change. You're going to get more fans and everything's going to, but you're telling me that people are coming in droves because you signed Willie Adames? I highly doubt that.
I wouldn't say in droves, but I do think that this is what they're also doing with Buster Posey being, the president of baseball operations. I think they're doing the whole Simpsons bit, when Tom Hanks is like, the government lost its credibility, so it's borrowing some of mine. They're doing that with Buster Posey. He's borrowing some of his credibility. And I
feel like they're setting him up to fail. Poor guy. Because if he fails, then what?
Well, I think he gets a couple years of
it's more to appease the fans because it's like, well, how mad are you going to be? It's Buster Posey, your fan favorite, your all-time favorite. Like, can't be that mad at him. So it gives you a couple years of grace, but
100%. And I think that's what I think at this moment, it's what they need. They need a couple years of grace because the Giants are never going to tear down and have a full rebuild. the biggest need that the Giants have at this moment, with they have nothing in the farm system that's legitimate, was shortstop. And they got the best shortstop, probably the best situation they could have gotten. Would you pick, with Carlos Correa's injury and how he's going to take 11 to 13 years to sign him? Is Willy Adames a better option than that? Maybe as a whole, maybe. I mean, to say, and I understand, Willy Adames is just a complimentary piece. He's not a MVP candidate. He's not that dude. But they have one of the best left sides of the infield in baseball. They have a lot of young guys. They need to see what the heck is going on. So you need to give them playing time. You got to have Matos out there every day. You got to see if Heliot Ramos is actually a guy. You got to see if Jung Hoo Lee is actually going to be good in Major League Baseball, not just overseas in Korea. And you got to see what's going on. Is Tyler Fitzgerald for real, or was that just kind of like a fluke 3 or 4 months? You got to see what's going on. So I think that they should hopefully make a move for a star in the next 2 to 3 years. But they're also hoping that Bryce Eldridge is that guy. So,
but see, I think that was a perfect way to explain it. Like, you can have a good team when you have complementary players, right? And
right.
Chapman and Willy Adames, and even now Justin Verlander, they're that, but they're not guys that carry the team. And I feel 100%. Like you could have had. I feel like you could have had that this offseason.
They could have had that.
You can still have a good team.
Corbin Burns hurt, so that sucked. But name anybody else. Juan Soto was not coming to San Francisco. He was going to be on one of those New York teams. You're not going to outspend Steve Kahn. It's just not going to happen. So I was upset that they didn't get Pete Alonso, but it seemed like he didn't want to go anywhere but New York. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wishful thinking. Do the Giants have a top 5, top 10 minor league system? The answer is no. They're actually bottom 5. And let me tell you why. Sorry. Let me tell you why. Because all their top prospects just graduated. Hayden Birdsong, who was one of their top prospects, was called up a year too early. Now he is ready, but he has lost his prospect status. Same thing with Kyle Harrison. And Bryce Eldridge is the man. So I think that their farm system is better than people give it credit for. It did, produce a Heliot Ramos. It did produce a Tyler Fitzgerald, and they were never a top 2 or 3 farm system. Kyle Harrison, Hayden Birdsong, Landon Roop, who's been killing in spring. So I think they're better than people give it credit for, but it's also you can't lie and say that it's that the roses are smelling great. So
I think what hurt them is that they've been a little mediocre, right? Like, if you had
the
a couple
mid
of
of
years,
mids, yes.
If you had a team where, like, at least they made the playoffs a couple years in a row, and you can see that they're building something, maybe it attracts an Alonso, who we all thought was a really good fit there. But, having money is one thing, but having a team that's going somewhere and the money, that's, two different
100%.
things. And so I think you guys had the money, but you guys just couldn't sell the vision, I don't think, to these players.
And I hate the whole, the draft picks with the qualifying offer. Sorry, I just couldn't think of the name for a second. The qualifying offer is not that important, but at the same time, you can't give away all your draft picks. So if they would have signed Corbin Burns and Pete Alonso and said, hey, we're going in, this is going to make us, if they would have signed Corbin Burns and Pete Alonso, they would have been legit contenders for one of the, probably the higher wildcard spots. But I mean, that would have been your first 7 draft picks. That's also a little much too.
Yeah, you could also say it's irresponsible because you have a juggernaut in your division, but also, if you do make those moves, I think you're better than the Padres. I think you might be better than, maybe on par with the Diamondbacks if you make some of those moves that didn't happen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we can go on and on and on, but at the end of the day, what the Giants need to do, if they're legitimately want to contend, I don't mind them taking a step back this year and being like, hey, we need a shortstop. This is a really good shortstop. We got him for 7 years. But let's let the kids play and let's see what we got here to see what's legitimate to keep, and what we're going to do in the next coming years when we're going to build up. I don't mind that happening, but that means Luis Matos. And there's the thing: everyone keeps talking about Mike Yastrzemski and Luis Matos need a platoon. That's going to kill Luis Matos' development. It's going to kill it. Like you're only going to see a lefter once a week, so he's going to play once a week. That's ridiculous. What needs to happen is he needs to give everyone a day off. So basically, he could sit on the bench and then give Mike Yastrzemski a day off, give Jung Hoo Lee a day off, give Heliot Ramos a day off, maybe give Matos 2 days off after that, then start the rotation again. So he's getting maybe not every day at bats, but close to. Obviously, you might need to kind of finagle it when there's a lefty. Those are the days maybe you want to sit Mike Yastrzemski, but it needs to be something like that where he's not playing once a week. So that's where we're at. I mean, we've talked about that a million times. It's just, and it almost kind of opened up a situation because Jung Hoo Lee had a back scare. They had an MRI. It ended up being, just soreness. So it seems like he's going to be, opening day starter. No big deal.
That's kind of scary, right? When you start talking about back injuries and they start lingering like that, we know because we have Clayton Kershaw and those back injuries, they're always there. So they're always in the back of your mind. So, and this guy's young, so maybe it's because he lost the whole year. I don't know, but that is scary to think about that. That could be a thing that, prolongs throughout the whole year.
Yeah. And that's huge because that makes the Giants a very good defensive outfield to a mediocre defensive outfield because Jung Hoo Lee is a great center fielder. Mike Yastrzemski is a great right fielder. And Heliot Ramos would be a great left fielder because he was a great right fielder. So if you take Jung Hoo Lee out, you either put Heliot Ramos in center, which he's not a good center fielder, Mike Yastrzemski in center field, where he's an average center fielder, but he's also 33. So, I mean, you can't expect him to be better. You're probably either going to be at same or worse. So, and then you have Luis Matos, which would be a good left fielder, but it just makes a
you're
huge
going to be in the
downgrade.
position that the Dodgers are in right now because Kim didn't fare out so good. They ended up having Pages in center, and it's kind of an adventure when he's out there. So you'll take the bat, but it's kind of an adventure when he's out there playing defensively. So
how was Michael Conforto? How was the eye test of Michael Conforto in real games? Huh? A lot of fun.
He made a nice catch to end the game, or to get the first out of the ninth inning.
Really?
In the second game, a nice sliding catch. Nothing bad. He got some.
Maybe
good hits,
it probably would have been a routine pop fly for everyone else, but
it was a right at you kind of ball, and he slid in to get it. So it was a good catch. But that'll be a topic for the whole year to see how the defense holds up in the outfield for the Dodgers.
I mean, speaking about Dodger mishaps, I'm not sure if we've had really good conversations about Pantone, but I would love to hear your thoughts. You love him, you give all your money to him. How are you feeling?
I always saw them and how they organized it to take over stadiums, whatever it was, to get a big section of the stadium, have Dodgers in there. I thought that was cool.
Right.
I didn't have any problem with that or any of that. You just hear some stories of like, oh, we feel like we got taken advantage of, and you hear the stories like, no, it's nothing like that. So I don't know. I don't really mess with that group.
Right.
But they do have a lot of support on one side, but there's also a lot of stories where it's like,
right.
It wasn't good, and I don't think I want to go back to that. So I don't know. I remember when Kobe passed, there was a big drama with that, and since then I had nothing to do with that group. Not that I ever did, but right. I'm not a big fan. I don't think that's like.
I guess the story that came out wasn't verified, right? So
no, it was just somebody's story that they said they. First of all, you also have to like part blame on the guys that spend the money. If you're paying $600 to go to a watch party in Japan, I just rather stay home and watch it. If you have that kind of money to spend, cool, good for you. But like, I don't know. Like I thought that was weird too. But I guess it was just disorganized. There was way too many people. And from the optics, it didn't look good that they said that he was behind the plate in one of the games. And they're like, well, maybe that's where our money's going, and we get to watch party at a bar or something. But, none of it's verifiable, so I can't really say anything definite. But yeah, kind of shitty if it is true,
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of bad things about. Like I said, nothing I don't think is completely verified, but I don't know. I mean, obviously the Kobe thing was definitely verified. You can't hide that. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, you want to I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole type deal. So.
I think it's one of those things that I want to believe that it started as a really good idea, right? Like, how do we get Dodger fans together and we make this a big thing? And then at a certain point when money gets involved, I think ideas change, or it just sometimes it changes people. Who knows? I don't know. But just some bad stories out there of bad experiences. So
money is bad, money is terrible. So please send us all your money so we can just
more money, more problems.
Just
send it
we
to
can
us.
we just podcast for a living. Yeah, which means that we have a Patreon. I'm just joking. We don't have a Patreon. But yes, I need
to ask you a question. So
I hope it's what I think you're gonna ask.
Because it's been bugging me today, right?
Okay.
And it's just been 2 games. It's been 2 games.
Okay.
No other teams are playing. And people are already upset at how Shohei has been marketed throughout these 2 games.
Okay.
Right?
We'll go there.
He breathes, he breathes, there's a post. He takes a dump, there's a post.
Exactly.
He goes to sleep, there's a post.
Right.
And I'm like, who cares? This is your biggest star. He's coming off a 50-50 season, an MVP, and a World Series win. If ever there was a guy at the height of his popularity, it's this guy. And
right.
you would be stupid to not market him every 5 minutes, whether it's him, his dog, anybody that has to do with him, right? It would be ridiculous. And I think when it comes down to it, it's the fact that he's a Dodger. Because if he was getting this much attention as an Angel, as if you went to the Giants, you wouldn't care. If you went to the Padres, they wouldn't care. And you know how I know this? Because when Tatis was at the height of his popularity, where he couldn't breathe without a video made of him, a catch, whatever it was, nobody said a word. He was so exciting. He was going to be the face of baseball. Oh, this guy has speed, power. He plays defense. He's a shortstop. He can do it all. Until the ringworm got him, right? Whatever. But nobody would care if Shohei was on their team. It's the fact that he's a Dodger. Because if he wasn't a Dodger, they'd be fine with the amount. They would love that dog. They would just love everything about it. They would be infatuated with all the content. But because he's a Dodger, they hate it that much more. And I hate it. I hate it because just come out and say that. Don't say it's because you could easily just ignore it.
You can't tell me one thing. This ain't a little ridiculous. These ones are a little much.
I have to know. All right. If I go out, I'm doing my errands and I'm doing stuff. Thank you for letting me know when his next at bat is. I need to know.
Yeah. I mean, I love the memes that came out of it. That was good. But so I'm gonna call bullshit a little bit, just a little bit.
If he was a Giant, would you be fed up with it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
That's exactly my point.
That's my case.
But that's exactly my point. If it's not your team, you're going to complain about it. To say that there wasn't complaints about Tatis getting all that attention. There was complaints, not as high, but at the same time,
it was probably Dodger fans because we dislike each other, right? And you can be honest about it. It's probably Dodger fans, just as it is right now. Padres fans that are pretty loud about it, but it's good for the game.
It is good for the game. I mean, let's be honest. Every single time we could put Shohei Ohtani's name in the thumbnail and in the title, you got to do it because that's usually what gets you the most eyes. I get it and I understand it, but sometimes it's a little like, oh my gosh, dude, this guy can't. I'm not going to lie to you. I made the same complaint when he was on the Angels. I've said, oh man, I want to love Shohei Ohtani, and I do, but it's like every single time this guy gets a single, this guy gets a post. It's like you're making us get sick of him. It was my argument, and I get it. He's at the height. You're going to want to push, and if he was on any other team, that fans team base would be the same way. They would be like, they would love it. If it's not your team, you're going to hate it. So it's not because it's the Dodgers. It's just because it's not that it's that.
It doesn't help that it's the Dodgers.
It doesn't help. No,
it doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
Like, you can just be honest about that. And I don't know, man. If you could be like, this guy deserves more attention than Ohtani, show me the guy. Show me the player that you think deserves more attention. I'm not saying they don't deserve any attention. But
come on, I love Seiya Suzuki.
It's Ohtani.
Come on over, baby. Come on now.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. In his first playoff game, he comes through. In Japan, in the Tokyo series, he comes through. Like, he's there for the big moments. He comes through. You gotta give him love.
I'm not arguing why you love him. I 100% understand when you love him, but I also understand that people are a little like, okay, move on. I get it. It makes a little bit sense.
The other thing is, everybody says, well, this guy needs attention too. But you know what happens every time MLB does give attention to another person? Every comment underneath is like, what about this guy? But what about this guy?
100%.
Like, nothing is ever good enough. Right. So I call bullshit on you guys being this fed up. It's just the fact that he's a Dodger. Because they could put Ronald Acuna tomorrow in there because with his whatever 80 stolen bases that he gets, and a Mets fan will be there. But what about Juan Soto? Look at his shuffle. Like,
it's
a
nice
always
shuffle.
like that. So whatever.
Well, that's the same forever. Thing. It's the Bob Uecker thing.
Ignore it.
It's the Bob Uecker thing. The same, like that's from Major League. It's when you think of the Juan Soto shuffle, it's like the Yankees, which when he was a Yankee, it makes all the girls scream, and then the Juan Soto shuffle now for the Yankees fans makes all the girls puke. Like
they're like, hey, I think it's kind of like the Step Brothers when they come in with the suit, and they're like, hey, these are kind of cool, man. That's kind of funny, and then they fart, and they're like, you know what? The suits kind of seem messed up now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I think there was complaints about Shohei with the Angels too. Does it help that it's the Dodgers and everyone hates the Dodgers at the moment? No. I mean, we don't want to go on this tangent again, but you should be happy that every team hates the Dodgers. That means you guys are doing good. Quit crying.
And if we want more fans, it's good that he's just growing the sport. So, name me another player that's on Fortnite.
Let's not put Babe Ruth on here. Don't equate Babe Ruth to Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods. Babe Ruth played the game when only white dudes were allowed to play. So he hit all those home runs against podiatrists and dentists. So I don't want to hear.
Ohtani is must see. Ohtani is definitely must see.
I'm just saying, if Babe Ruth was dropped in our game, he would be sent to AAA in a week.
DFA'd in a week, or down to the minors?
Trash. He would see.
He'd be like, "Where the hell are the plumbers?"
He would see somebody's breaking ball. I'm like, "What? That's illegal. Foul. No, 2 fouls."
Put Roki Sasaki up there and just feed him splitters, and he'd be like, "I'm retired." I retire on
Wild.
the spot.
I think we can end this with the Giants are probably gonna win 107 games and win the division because they got a theme song, and as we can learn something from the Mets, I don't know. I just feel like we've done it.
We're in an era where we have birdie raps from the Padres come out with singles every year.
Don't disrespect. You're gonna go Fernie raps on me? That's where you're going?
I'm saying we have every year we got Fernie raps coming out with the diss track that never works. You had I forgot the name from the Dodgers side, but I know there's a guy too that does some rap that some people don't like either. And now we got Giants. So Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Well,
I'm gonna play that after every loss.
you can
That's
play
gonna
it
be
after
the
every
intro.
loss.
That should
That's
be the
fine.
intro to the show after every loss from your team.
You can play it after every single loss. That's fine. But here's the thing: Giants fans know when there's a Giants song. I mean, call back to Ashcon. Giants win a World Series. So
I love the fact that we don't have to deal with superstitions. Like we just have good players.
Stop.
And so
Every
if we
single
win,
time,
we win. And
when you guys were choking in the playoffs and someone would make a song, you would blame it on the song. So here's the thing: the songs
that's
don't
just a
work when you
funny
have
thing to do.
expectations. When you have expectations, the songs don't work. When you're the gritty underdog, you're good.
When you're the gritty underdog and you have cringy songs, it doesn't help.
Oh, it helps.
It does
You
not.
tell that to Ashcon, Don't Stop Believing, and all that kind of you tell Iglesias with OMG that it didn't work. It works.
It didn't work. OMG stopped dead in his tracks in the NLCS.
Listen, if we make it to the NLCS,
they saw the Dodgers and we're like,
song,
OMG, we're out of their class. Like
right now, I will take it.
We're not in their class.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on your favorite podcasting platform as well as YouTube. All your socials. Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast, Twitter, Benches Cleared P, and TikTok, Benches Cleared. Dave, what do you have from him?
I think we're going to get Ernie on here, dude. He's been pretty active here, and I feel like the next episode should be some smack talking between us. And
come on, Ernie, we're going to have to get you on. You're going to have to tell me. I'm going to make you love Oracle Park, and we're going to make this work.
There's no way. I remember we had a discussion, me and him, and we're talking Clayton Kershaw, and I was dissing Clayton Kershaw. He threw a loaf of bread at my head. So
okay.
There's no way you're gonna make this guy, a diehard Dodger fan, just love Oracle Park. I don't.
You can love different ballparks. You have a crab sandwich for the first time
when it's the home of your rival. There's no way.
Hey, I don't mind eating something good at Dodger Stadium. That doesn't bug me at all.
Well, that's because you're a closeted Dodger fan, man. I know you. I know deep inside you're. Like,
I will not eat that cat poop. I will not eat that cat poop.
You were like, yeah.
Whatever. On that side, we're ending with this.
We'll see you.
We're doing it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Maybe twice. Who knows? We'll let you know. See ya.